They're calling this Wednesday the craziest day in earnings history. Who can deny it? We're getting four of the Mag 7s reporting on the same day. I think the last time we even had three, that's kind of rare, but I don't recall a day when we've had, or a quarter where we've had four. So Wednesday is D Day, so to speak. And who is it? It's Google, well, Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon. I had to look at my list. Apple will report on Thursday, but we don't care about them right now. So we're only going to discuss the Magnificent Four. Let's just call them that. And someone else on this video, because there are some other companies that you should also be watching on Wednesday. That's why everyone's calling it the craziest day in earnings history. But let's start with the Mag 7s once again. And we're going to start with Alphabet. So I'm just going to show the price consensus and EPS surprise charts. We have no misses on Alphabet since 2023, since the big sell-off in 2022, which doesn't even look that big anymore when you look at this chart. Shares are busting out to new highs going into this number, and look at the consensus estimates up and to the right. That's what you want to see. This is a very nice chart. Even if I didn't know this was Alphabet, I would be bullish on this company going into this earnings report. Let's look and see. You can hover over these arrows and you can see that earnings surprise of 9.7% last quarter. So I'm expecting another beat, and I don't think they're going to disappoint, but we'll see. I own Alphabet in my own personal portfolio. I know many of you own all of these. I also own Microsoft and Amazon. I do not own Meta or the fifth secret stock I'm about to talk about. But I know all of us own these at least somewhere, including in the S&P 500. So want to disclose always what I own. We're going to the next mag for Microsoft, and Microsoft, ticker MSFT, of course. It has a very good earnings surprise chart, just that one miss back in 2022. And then look at the earnings, just very consistent. There's not a lot of surprises for the analysts with this kind of chart, but that's good. That means they're very good at telegraphing what the business is doing and what to expect in the coming quarters and for the year. You can see here in 2026, at the beginning of the year, we had this nice boost up. So there was a bit of a surprise in there, and the analysts, had to raise expectations here. So we'll see. I am expecting another beat with Microsoft as well. They beat last quarter 6.7%. They are pretty consistent at these smaller level beats. But when you're $1 trillion company with all of these balls in the air, it's amazing that, they're able to telegraph what is going on this well to actually get these small beats every quarter. So this is another one we're all going to be tuning in. By the way, I wonder what the analysts are going to do. They're going to have to deploy the junior analysts on some of these conference calls because they're all going to be busy at the same time on Wednesday afternoon. Okay, Amazon, this chart is looking very good as well. If it wasn't for this miss last quarter, which is very small, just 1.5%, so barely missed, they put together this great earnings surprise streak since 2023. Jassy has some good rapport with the analysts. He's giving out a lot of information now, so they are on the equal, parallel road with Amazon here. These shares busting out to new highs as well. Microsoft's the only one that was lagging, and that's because it's on the software side, and the software stocks are lagging. But Amazon, this was a big deal to bust out here. And you can see the earnings up and to the right. But this year's earnings, this is not that big of earnings growth. They're really only expecting it into 2027. Maybe some of this AI investment is starting to pay off by 2027. We'll see. obviously everybody's going to be watching this stock as well. And then we're going to wrap up the Mag 4, the Magnificent Four, with Meta Platforms. And this chart is also good. The last miss is also back here in 2022, and then a perfect record. Last quarter, a beat of 8.2%. And the shares, however, a little bit weaker this year. You can see the real big sell off here. Maybe that was a buying opportunity. We've had a bit of a rally back in this Iran war rally that we've had off the March lows. But can it get another breakout like it did last year? This earnings looks a lot like Amazon. Very little earnings growth expected for 2026. Not a decline, but very little growth. And then 2027 is maybe where these AI investments are going to pay off. But they're spending a lot of money. A lot of these companies, including, Amazon and Alphabet, on AI. Will it pay off? This is what we're all going to be tuning into on Wednesday, the craziest earnings day ever in history. But who else is reporting on that day? We are going to get some other names. Nobody's going to be paying attention, or will they, to Carvana. I haven't tuned into Carvana in a while, and their earnings surprise track record also has turned it around since 2022. We do have two misses since then, including one 2 quarters ago. This was a pretty substantial miss of 22%, but they were back to their winning ways with a massive beat last quarter. Shares, though, coming down off those all-time highs, and you can see a little bit of weakness here in the consensus estimate for both this year and next year, but still expecting to see earnings growth. So it's a matter of maybe these shares just got a little too hot to handle, and that's why we had the pullback. But a nice rally off those March lows. Again, for Carvana, I know everybody is going to be tuning into some of these others after we get those Mag 4 earnings. Another one, I'm going to throw in an extra bonus on this, available only here in the video. Chipotle also reporting after the bell on Wednesday, and you can see a bit of a difference on this chart. Still a great earnings surprise track record, just this one miss back in 2023. But that's not the problem. These falling earnings estimates are, the analysts keep getting bearish on this year and next. And the shares have fallen back down to earth here, wiping out several years of gains. But that does mean the valuation is coming down and getting a little more attractive for those that maybe aren't in the growth area, that are in the value part of things. So I used to call Chipotle the king of the restaurants. And then before them, I was calling Domino's the king of the restaurants. Domino's already reported earnings this week, and it was fine, but not what they used to be able to do. They had same-store sales growth in the US of just 0.9%. And they did talk about a slowdown in the customer. Will Chipotle also see a slowdown? Both of these chains are not on the more expensive side. They were considered to be values when things got tough. So is the consumer just pulling back on eating out in general? That's what we're all going to be tuning in on. So don't miss out on Chipotle after you check out Carvana and the Mag 4, all on Wednesday after the bell. And there's plenty of others that are also going on Wednesday and throughout this week. I'm going to be bringing you another video this week on who else is going on Crazy Thursday. It's not quite as crazy as Wednesday, but it's up there. And Apple will be reporting on Thursday, along with a bunch of other great names. So be sure to get all of our videos. Get us on Zacks.com/YouTube. Subscribe. Click the notification button to get all of our videos, including top stock picks of the week, to get those Zacks #1 rank. Remember, the rank changes a lot during earnings season, so you want to make sure you are up on all those Zacks #1 rank strong buy stocks. So Be sure to join me again for another video this week and throughout earnings season. I'll see you then.